Hello, everybody. How are you guys? Just checking all my technology stuff, making sure everything is set up right as usual. If you are joining me today for perhaps what might be your lunchtime, depending on your time zone and your schedule, please pop on and say hi. I like knowing that my technology is working, but also I love seeing you guys. I love seeing your name, your face, maybe, and knowing that you're here. It helps me out so much, especially in this beginning part when I'm checking everything out. If you end up watching this on replay later, pop that in the comments too, because believe it or not, that helps me out. So I welcome that. I see somebody's on here. I can't see who yet. So yeah, if you're joining, pop on and just pop something into the comments rather, and say hi so I know it's working. Anyway, let's get down to business, right? Because we are here today to talk about how you can build some energetic momentum so that when you are going to take a scary step in building your practice, or if you are not necessarily taking a scary step, but you want to build some positive momentum simply because it feels good and you want to start your day on an upbeat, or you have a big thing that you're doing that you want to have some high energy for, even if it's not scary, you want it to feel really good, all of that, right? So when we build some positive momentum, all of those things go better. And so what I'm going to share with you guys today is my top 3 things that I recommend to build that positive momentum up. So let's back up one little step. So let's talk about you guys for a minute. So I know that in this group, we have all kinds of different therapists here. Everyone is in a different space. That's awesome. So some people are here because they want to start a private practice, or they've started it, but they haven't really got it rolling yet. I know some people are here because they're trying to work on getting off of insurance and like, how do I build a private pay caseload? Some people are here because they want to start a coaching program, or they have a coaching program, or they're creating a product, right? Any of those things are awesome. And also sometimes we're just here because I want to feel better in my practice. I want to feel more confident, and I just like being around good energy that helps me to do that. So any of those things are awesome. This is going to help all of that, okay? So who am I? Let's go to that part. So in case you don't know me already, I'm Lisa, and I am a licensed therapist and also a spiritual business coach. My specialty, if you will, is helping other therapists understand how their own attachment stuff, attachment wounds, attachment baggage, is impacting what they are attracting to them or manifesting in their life, in their practices, and how to use some spiritual tricks and tools to help clear that stuff out so that they can have awesome, thriving practices. Okay? So again, that's what we're here to talk about today. So I'm going to jump right in and talk about my 3 things. Okay, so I've already said a little bit about when we would use this. So if there's an obstacle that we're facing where we're just a little bit hesitant, it's scary, it feels intimidating, I don't know if I'm ready for that, this is going to help. It's also going to help if you just want to have an awesome day, or you're maybe going to do a speaking engagement or something that you love, but you want your energy up, right? All of those things are going to be great reasons to implement these 3 tools. So, tip number one would be music. So that's probably not super surprising to you guys. But do you know why the music is such a crowd lifter, right? If we think about when we go to sporting events, right, they're using music to uplift us. Concerts in general, right? When people are there and they're enjoying the music, why is that such a positive, uplifting thing? So, to explain that a little bit, I'm going to explain this. I saw this YouTube video before, a long time ago, where there was this guy that was demonstrating how sound has energy waves, right? We can't see the energy waves with our eyes, but we kind of just know and maybe take for granted that, like, oh yeah, sound travels, right? So in this video, though, this guy took his phone and he went over to a guitar that he had with him, and he like plucked the little strings of the guitar, boom, 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 right? And he recorded it on his phone. So then he took his phone, the same one that he did the recording on, and he played that back while having his phone right next to the guitar. And you can see those guitar strings start to wiggle a little tiny bit, right? Because of the sound wave. Like, it's a literal thing that has an effect on environment, right? So music, when we want to use it for uplifting, is doing that because those sound waves are entering sort of like our energetic field, right? So when we have an obstacle that we want to tackle for our private practice or whatever, or again, if we just want to uplift ourselves, we want to be really intentional about the music that we're choosing. So for me, I look at this as I actually have a playlist on my phone that I call like pump up music. And it's very specific songs that I've chosen because of the lyrics and like the beat or whatever. So it's not quite enough to just say, I really like this music, I enjoy it. That's good. It's not the best though. The best is if you are intentionally picking songs that have lyrics that are supporting the mindset that you would like to have, right? So I have this whole list of songs that are just that. They are upbeat, they have lyrics that are in the mindset that I want to bring out more in me. And I will use that on purpose right before I'm doing something. I was actually just doing it like 10 minutes ago in preparation for this, of like, I want my energy to be high and awesome. So not only did I play the music, singing and dancing, whether you think you're good at singing or dancing is irrelevant, will actually make it even better, because the physical act of singing and the physical act of dancing and movement moves the energy. So if our energy is feeling stuck and stagnant and worried or stressed, we want to move that, right? We want to like shake that out of us, basically. So it truly does not matter whether you are a good dancer or not. I'd almost say don't even think about it that much about doing cool dance moves. It's more about moving your body in whatever way just feels good and like really just trying to shake it out, right? So bonus points for singing and dancing. Think about it like this too, like that movement piece, why movement is so important. Why do we do yoga, right? It's the movements in certain fashions that moves energy. We're just doing it in a different way when we're incorporating it with uplifting music. Okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2. Also one of my little tools. So some of you might have seen inside the group under the resources, well, it's actually under guides, right? And then I have like a subheading of like free resources that I'm giving to you guys. So you're not going to be able to tell from this sheet right here, which is all crumply and kind of gross looking. is one of the tools that's there. It's labeled there as like the 2-minute upbeat ramble or something. So let me tell you about this really quick. I developed this little handy dandy sheet years ago because what I realized was my brain had this habit of practicing telling stories in it or reliving things that are unpleasant, unwanted, but my brain would just like ruminate on shit that I didn't want. And I realized, like, oh my goodness, I've got to stop doing this. It is not helpful. It's not productive. It is throwing off my energy and my vibe. I need to focus on anything other than this stuff that's rambling in my head, anything that feels better. So this is a little cheat sheet that I developed. It has like 25 days or something of ideas of things I can think about and ramble in my brain or out loud if I wanted to for 2 minutes that just feel better. And it was a way to distract my brain from doing old pattern stuff that's not helpful. So mine is all wrinkly and kind of water stained because I use this when I'm brushing my teeth at night, because that was when I realized that my brain would start doing that thing. So it's kind of got water and stuff all over there, but that's okay. That just means it's being well used, right? So if we take this idea, which is helpful to us all of the time, we can use this for whatever, but we apply the same idea to specifically thinking about your practice and how you want it to be and how you could envision it that would feel good, we're doing the same thing. So we're doing either this way with a little, these are simpler things, FYI, so like talking about things you like in nature or a favorite performance that you've seen or sounds that you like, right? So it's just like very simple things. If we bring it over into our practice, it's thinking about things that I want to see and feel in my practice, and can I practice rambling about them because I want to build up good feeling energy that can then be going out into the world and law of attraction, manifestation. I'm going to draw those things to me like a magnet, because that's how law of attraction works, right? So when we're doing this, I'm just like going into my little notes here. We want to think about how we want to feel, what we want to experience, maybe what things might look like. And you can do this about like the next step that you're about to take. You know, if there's a phone call you have to make or a course that you're going to enroll in or boring paperwork, things that you have to fill out, it doesn't really matter. Or just like how you want your day to feel, right? Maybe you have a day full of clients and you want to be really intentional about the energy of you're bringing into your sessions with your clients and you want to feel good about it, right? So the idea here is to practice, I say for 2 minutes, like really just for as long as you can. And you want to say things like, I like it when. I am so looking forward to. I like knowing that. I appreciate. So when we're doing this, I'm just kind of giving you like some sentence stems there that you can start with. When we're doing this, we're not worried about grammar. We're not worried about sentence structure. We're not even worried about if I repeat myself over and over again. It truly doesn't matter. We just want to build some momentum. So if we think about snowball rolling down a hill, right, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, we want to build that momentum in a positive way. It doesn't matter if we're saying things over and over again, the same things, right? The idea is just to keep it going for 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, right? So just to like alleviate any worries that you might have of how silly you might sound or how whatever this might feel awkward and weird, and then demonstrate it for you, just so you can see how truly, truly, truly it does not matter how you sound. So if I think about doing this live today, right? So here would be an example of what my ramble, in a good way, could sound like. I really like that I get the opportunity to do a live because I really like talking. I like talking about things that I'm passionate about. I like knowing that the things that I talk about and can teach people can absolutely make a huge impact on their world, their practices, their lives. I love engaging with other like-minded therapists. I like that we can support each other and encourage each other and have ideas for each other. I like knowing that when I invite people to these things that sometimes people are able to show up and sometimes they watch on replay, and I like knowing that either way that's okay. I look forward to doing these things. I look forward to knowing that what I teach has a good impact on people. I look forward to knowing or hearing back from people that the tips that I gave them actually changed how they felt that day. I appreciate that I feel alive when I do this. I love and appreciate that I've become so okay with the fact that I ramble and flub my words that it doesn't bother me anymore. I love and I'm so excited about that part. So you see how I'm just like blah, 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 on purpose rambling, on purpose building fast momentum without giving myself a whole lot of time to pause or to think too hard. I'm on purpose just going to talk really fast, right? Because that's how we're building momentum and we're keeping negative naysaying thoughts away when we do it really fast. Okay? Technique number 3 is going to be similar but different. So this tip number 3, is known to me in my world as the Kailego exercise. So what in the world is that name? So I have adopted this from a transformational speaker and author named Kyle Cease. And he developed this little idea like through a fun little story that he shares. So the idea here is it's going to be similar to what I just did a moment ago, but we're going to instead talk about the event, the thing that you're trying to build up energy for, as though it has already happened. So that might sound a little bit weird. Here's why we're doing that. So our energy field is the energy that is going out into the universe and attracting back to us like a magnet. Our energy field does not know the difference between whether something happened in the past, is happening right now, or is happening in the future. It doesn't know the difference. It just operates off of how am I feeling in this moment. Okay? So when we're talking about something, though, that's in the future, as though the good thing has already happened, our energy is responding to that. And also, our brain, on some level, is taking it in that this thing has already happened. And so it, in a weird way, can feel a little bit more believable to our energy, or to our brain, if we're talking about it as though it's already happened. So what you want to do is pick a time frame that is in the future. So it could be later on today, at the end of your day. It could be thinking into the future a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. It's actually cool if you do all of those. When I went to see Kyle Cease in person, we actually did this exercise with interacting with different people, and we did it in all those time frames. And the different time frames mean you start coming up with different things to say. I feel like I've gotten a little bit ahead of myself in explaining that part. So when we pick that time frame that's in the future and we start talking about the event as though it's already happened, you start creating not only energy, but like creative ideas of like how things came to pass. And so when you do it a month from now, a year from now, you're filling that rambling period, if you will, with even better, cooler, more expansive ideas because of the time frame, right? So you start coming up with cool things. So it's interesting because you are building that momentum again, but sometimes like cool ideas end up dropping in there even as you're rambling because we've built the momentum already. So this is a little bit trickier in a way with like how to start it off when you want to go do this. You're just starting it off as though you're telling a story to somebody else. So it could be, hey, Sally, like, remember that day a week ago when X, Y, and Z happened? And like, man, after that day, after that moment when you and I did this, everything changed after that. This started happening and this started happening and I started feeling this. So the sentence stems, if you will, just to kind of get your brain moving in that direction. It might start off with, that day was awesome. That day started with X, Y, and Z, but here's what happened. You might start off your sentence with, I remember a month ago when I did this step and everything started changing after that, right? So you're just, again, rambling and letting your creative mind fill in the details, again, without really pausing or stopping, which is hard and challenging, let me just tell you. But you're filling that space to, again, build the momentum of that snowball rolling down the hill. So this is trickier. I'm going to demonstrate this one too for a few minutes. I don't know if it'll be a few minutes, but I'm going to demonstrate what this could look like again. But I'm going to, shorten it a little bit. And this is going to be totally, genuinely just like flowing through me. And you're going to hear me ramble and you're going to hear me flub my words and you're probably going to hear me pause and then how I get out of the pause. So let me stop talking and demonstrate for you. Okay, so I know that there's a lot of people in this group that are working right now on building a private pay caseload. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put myself in that mindset. Okay, Sally, oh my God, remember when you and I were talking a month ago, Sally? And I was telling you how I had a conversation with my website people about SEO. Remember that? Sally, everything changed after that moment. It was so cool. So I had that conversation about SEO stuff, and we were going to get some of that in line, which is cool from a logistics standpoint. Awesome. But Sally, it was actually even beyond that. Just because I did that meeting, my mindset started to get excited again, and it started to believe that now that I had this SEO stuff figured out, that people were going to come to me. Like I was going to be able to find them. They were going to be able to find me. And my excitement started to build, Sally. And after my excitement started to build, it was really cool because all of a sudden I was inspired to go to different networking things. And when I went there, I've been to networking things before, but my energy was different now. And I got excited and I was interacting differently. And I feel like people could resonate with my excitement, and it was drawing them to me, even as colleagues. And they started asking me questions. And then it was actually really cool because I started having this conversation with this one person that I didn't know. And they actually had this cool opportunity, this speaking engagement that I didn't even know existed. But because I was in this high energy and I was just talking and engaging and connecting with them, they actually asked me, Sally, to be a speaker at their event. And I didn't even know that that was a thing. And it all started from that one moment where I had that conversation about SEO. I didn't pause. Isn't that awesome? So it's just talking, and letting my mind fill in details of why in this last month, from this moment to here, why things started shifting, right? So that excitement just builds, and now my brain is now thinking about like, oh, who could I work with, right? Who might have opportunities that I don't even know exist, right? So it's a fun thing to do on your own. It's a even more fun thing if you do it with another person. I know that can be tricky, but if you happen to have a friend that is in this group as well, or you want to give it a try, absolutely, it works even better. So those are my 3 tips for today. What I would encourage you to do is when you're trying them, do a little pre-post check, if you will, of how you're feeling before you do any one of those things, and then what you feel like afterwards. So pay attention to your energy level, what you're noticing in your body, what your mood feels like, all of those, right? Pre and post test. I also am going to have in the group a PDF of kind of breaking these tips down again. I also have some links on there for some music stuff. I have a link for the guy that I was talking about, Kyle Cease, where he's kind of explaining this, the Kylego thing, even better than me. So I have all the ideas and the how-tos on this PDF, so look for that inside of the group. I also would love for you guys, when you try any one of these, please come back into the group and tell us about it, right? Please remember, this is a community of people where we are trying to help each other out. And when you come in and you post like, hey, I did a music playlist and it really helped me with this, or I tried that weird Kylego thing and it was weird and awkward and crazy, but it actually felt cool, and then this cool thing happened. When you post that, guys, you are helping your community, because you're showing them, giving them evidence that this stuff works, right? And a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So please come back and share it with us. And if you're trying any of these things and you find yourself running into some blocks, it's feeling hard, it's hard to get that momentum because you have some negative shit that keeps coming in, please feel free to reach out to me to see if you would be a good match for my self-doubt recovery program. So if that's you, feel free to reach out and send me a DM. Or if you're just like, hey, I want to amp this shit up 10 times, you can also DM me and we can talk about options. So I hope that this was helpful, guys. And as always, I will see you the next live around.